Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm your hostess and your melanated queen, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. I hope all of y'all are doing wonderful out here. And I just wanted to make sure I could hear myself. Y'all haven't been live like this in such a while, so I decided to just test this thing out and come on up here and say hi to you all. I really need to be outside working in the yard. I hope everyone has been having a successful, prosperous week. All are safe and all are blessed. I know so many people out here are going through it, y'all. So we're going to talk about it. Also, this is my birthday month. July 1st was my birthday. There is my Cash App BGAB clothing if you'd like to donate to the cause. On the 1st of July, a goddess was born. I must say that. All right, y'all. So if you haven't heard the news, Nicki Minaj, okay? Nicki Minaj is coming out against Jay-Z right now. And I know there are so many more prevalent things that's going on in our lives, but I just said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and touch on it. We're going to talk about it, see what you think, see what your thoughts are, and just get some clarity on this whole scenario. So, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and come on camera, y'all. All right, here I am. Here I go. Here's the big reveal. All right, so I don't think that I'm able to actually share my screen for whatever reason because of the browser that I'm using. So, since I can't share my screen, I'm going to have to read to you what this article says. This is on Vibe, okay? Now, normally, I would bring this up, I would show it to you, we would read it together, we can look at it, but that's not the case. So it says Nicki Minaj says Jay-Z owes her $200 million from her equity and title. Nicki Minaj is escalating her public feud with Jay-Z as she has now made a claim that he owes her up to $200 million tied to her equity and title. Minaj, who was one of 15 artists gifted a 3% stake in the streaming service at its 2015 launch, she said she was offered only $1 million for her share after the company was sold to Jack Dorsey Square for $302 million in 2021. We've calculated about 100 to 200 million so far. Hashtag Jay-Z, call me to settle this karmic debt. It's only collecting more interest, she wrote on X, adding that despite the financial dispute, you're still in my top five though. Now let's talk about this. Doesn't that phrase sound very, very, very familiar? Jay-Z, call me. Isn't that what Kanye told Jay-Z back in the day? Call me. Remember before they snatched him off stage? Call me, bro. You still ain't call me. So why do we think that this is anything different than what he's normally been doing? Jay-Z is, in my opinion, very selfish from what we have seen over the years. He looks out for himself. Him and Puffy were very good friends. So the same way that Puffy treated his artists, I am sure Jay-Z is doing the same thing. What did Nicki Minaj think when she signed to them, okay? The global icon also referenced her philanthropic goals. Listen to this, y'all. Stating that any money recouped would help fund her Student of the Game initiative designed to cover tuition and student loans for fans. Why is it that she has to recoup money from Jay-Z to do this? She has been selling records, albums, concerts, promotions, shows. What she also had a perfume line. She has so many endorsements with the camera. When she first came out, I mean, she has had so many financial lucrative opportunities that I don't see why she has to tie this into giving money to college tuition. What do the college students have to do with her and Jay-Z's inside feud that's going on between her and him? This is a manipulative tactic, and she's very selfish as well. The same way Jay-Z has blocked other artists, we heard about what he did to Memphis Bleak, what he did to Beanie Siegel back in the day, what he did to a lot of artists on the record label, and even DMX. She's done the same because Remy Ma stated that Nicki Minaj tried to block her. Remember when they had the little Sheether situation going on? And basically, she got eradicated by Remy Ma, but we know Papoose was the one that wrote that for Remy Ma. So really, Nicki was going up against Papoose. Anyway, Nicki also wrote, okay, so she said to depose Deseret. So Deseret, she's talking about Desiree Perez, which, she works with Rock Nation. And apparently she is some type of Latino or Hispanic, and she does not like the fact that her daughter is married to a melanated male, and she's tried to get him locked up. She tried to get her daughter locked up and also tried to have her daughter admitted, saying that she's not mentally stable. She even had a doctor to try to have her daughter admitted. So this is how crazy these people are. So Nicki Minaj also went on to say, I'm going to use some of the money. Okay, so we heard about what she says she's going to do for the students, which I think she could have done that years ago if that's what she wanted to do. Don't try to use Jay-Z and tie him in on it so that these quote unquote little barbs can go and do your dirty work on the internet for you. Because that's what this is. This is definitely a manipulative tactic. And I think that people should be able to see far beyond these antics by this point. So it says yesterday, July 8th, Minaj directed further criticism at Roc Nation members when she called out CEO Desiree Perez, sharing a screenshot of a video that accused Perez of abusing her own daughter, Demarie. All right. Now, I did listen to a whole lot of information on that situation between Desiree Perez and her daughter, and it's quite sickening how she had cameras placed inside of the bedroom and the bathroom, okay, of her daughter's residence. The daughter ended up having to move out because they even had private investigators sitting across the street from her house, moving in across the street from her house, watching her and her husband, y'all. She called the police on her husband, made up allegations saying that the husband put hands on her daughter. And Demarie, which is Desiree Perez's daughter, came out and said that it's not true. The video alleges that Perez held her daughter against her will and physically assaulted her, claims that have not been verified. And then let me see, what else did she say? She said her daughter Demarie claims her mother held her against her will and was punching her. This is so sad. This is not the actions of a concerned mother. Hashtag justice for Dem. Hashtag justice the Hadleys. Nicki Minaj calls out Roc Nation Demarie Hadley, exposing Roc Nation CEO. All right, so now all of a sudden she's so asphyxiated on Demarie Perez's or Demarie situation. But all of this is self-serving. Nicki Minaj, she comes off as self-serving in this whole thing. Minaj then reignited speculation about Jay-Z's alleged paternity case involving Ramir Satterwhite, a man who has long claimed the hip-hop mogul is his biological father. Now, if you look at the two pictures, which I can't show it on the screen right now, he has his nose, he has his ears, he has his mouth. He definitely has his features. This dude looks like he could definitely be related to Jay-Z. But if you know anything about these selfish, conniving, demonic, devilish worshipers, you know that all of them are selfish and only concerned about what benefits them. They could care less, even if it comes down to their own flesh and blood. So they're saying that Jay-Z does not want to take a DNA test for this grown guy, even though his mother passed away, stating that this is, in fact, this boy's father, because she was underage when Jay-Z allegedly was messing with her, and therefore a child came into this world because of it. All right, so then let me see. She said, "Oh, is this why he was trending the other day? I don't know. I hope all is well. To God be the glory." So this is she's just trolling him right now. The paternity suit has not been publicly confirmed by Jay-Z. And then Jay-Z, let me see. Minaj also came from Megan Thee Stallion, just as a federal judge ruled that a sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit filed against the Houston rapper by her former cameraman could proceed. In a pointed post, Minaj wrote, "What was the name of that law again? Karma's Law?" So she's referring to the lyric Megan's Law when Nicki Minaj came out with that diss record against Nicki Minaj. This is so petty, y'all. Touch not my anointed law. Vengeance. Hold on. Vengeance is the law. The blog posting lies. Thank you. More money for me. We're working trust. Okay, so Minaj is going off on a tirade, y'all, or on a rampage on Twitter. And let's keep going because this is kind of silly to me. The post appeared to reference Megan's 2024 song Hiss, where she took a jab at Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty. So, the same way her last name is Petty, Kenneth Petty, Nicki Minaj is very petty in her antics. On the track, Megan rapped, "Those hoes don't be mad at Megan. Those hoes mad at Megan's law. I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start." Okay. And the line referenced Petty's status as a court ordered registered sex offender stemming from 1995 case. We already heard about that, and they were trying to pay the victim off. Minaj's latest online rant comes amid increasing scrutiny of Roc Nation and some of its high profile artists and executives. As of now, neither Jay Z, Perez, Megan Thee Stallion, nor Roc Nation have publicly responded to Nicki Minaj's claims. Okay, so she's throwing another temper tantrum, another hissy fit. Now, I just think that this is very interesting, right? That she would come out saying these things, um, saying these things that she's saying because I feel like you want your fan base involved in your antics, right? But you only know a crowd of people when it's at your advantage. There were some other tweets that Nicki Minaj posted on X, okay? And I'm going to try to get those text messages as well. All right. And so even Tina Knowles came into the picture when Nicki started saying this stuff. So let's go to what Tina Knowles did, what she stated, okay? So Tina Knowles has unintentionally sparked a firestorm online after a recent social media post was interpreted by some. King Hazy, what's good? What's good? What's good? Um, let's see. What did she say? Let's see. Knowles reposted a fan made video about herself and her daughter Beyonce to her Instagram story. The video, shared by a fan account, featured a caption that seemed to allude to Minaj's erratic social media behavior in recent days. And we have known Nicki Minaj's behavior to be erratic in past days as well. So this is nothing new. I don't know why she comes into social media with her antics the way that she does, but as a 42-year-old woman that is a mother and supposedly a wife, I would think that she could handle her affairs in a much more studious fashion. It says, "Good morning. It feels good to wake up knowing my favorites didn't lose their minds like some people. Y'all have a great day. Remember to ignore the ignorance." And then that is what, as Miss Tina Knowles would say. Okay, so the timing of the post raised eyebrows amongst the Barbs. Nicki Minaj's fiercely loyal fan base, who saw it as a veiled jab at their idol amid her heated criticism of Beyonce's husband. They flooded Knowles' comments in defense of Minaj, prompting a swift response from the 71-year-old matriarch, denying any ill intent or connection to the rapper's outburst. This is what Tina Knowles wrote. "Wow, I reposted this because it was talking about our relationship. It had nothing to do with anyone other than me and Beyonce." She's so full of it. Like, she's so full of it. She knows what she's doing, so she'll throw a rock and hide her hand, kind of like Beyonce. "Please stop being messy and dragging me into something I don't have anything to do with. You guys should be ashamed, and all the bots are ridiculous!" Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation mark. The drama stems from a recent string of posts by Nicki Minaj. So, Nicki Minaj also wrote, "Dear Jay-Z and Deseret," meaning Desiree Perez, "you ruined hip hop. You ruined football. You ruined basketball. You ruined touring. So you ruined Instagram. You ruined Twitter. The jig is up. All of this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only." And another message, she questioned Jay-Z's political affiliations, y'all, and his lack of vocal support for democratic causes in the past. What difference does it make? Are we that caught up and Jay-Z and his democratic or political affiliations that we really care. I really don't care. Because if it's not directly impacting you and your family, if it's not giving you an increase in your monetary gain at your job or whatever you're doing on a daily basis, these people are millionaires and billionaires. What difference does it make? They're going to do what they want to do. They're very self righteous and self entitled. And it does not matter what we think. All they care about is themselves and their money. So she said, let me get this straight. Y'all so called black savior, Jay Z, has a Hispanic CEO who was pardoned by President Trump? Question mark, exclamation mark, and a whole bunch of exclamation marks. Interesting. Could it be that y'all have all been hoodwinked? LOL. Woo wee. First of all, who's hoodwinked? She's probably talking to a bunch of idiots. She thinks that majority of people are dumb, I guess. Like, who are we hoodwinked by? First of all, Jay-Z doesn't speak for me. Okay? No celebrity speaks for me. I can speak for myself. I'm articulate and smart enough to use my own brain. Secondly, not every person in America is in favor of the Democratic Party, nor are they in favor of Trump or the Republican Party. There are independent thinkers out here, such as myself, who doesn't succumb to a political party for any type of gain. So let's keep going. She continued her scathing criticism with more pointed remarks. That was so kind of President Trump, and that was so kind of President Obama to passionately go out and campaign. But what did Mr. Jiggaman do to help y'all win the election? 4 question marks. So now all of a sudden she's so concerned about politics, right? Any other time she's twerking in the camera, talking about how much money she has, what she can do with a man, what a man can do for her, how you can't be with a broke man. Like all this nonsense that she raps about. Now all of a sudden, it's time to pander and cater to people on Twitter. And I guess she thinks she's going to have some type of support because Jay-Z owes her in her head $200 million. There are people out here who hasn't even seen $1 million yet, let alone $100,000. And you're whining to the fan base and to people on Twitter about a dispute. You have enough money to hire attorneys. You could take this to court, okay? You can fight. What about people out here that have had overtime and worked on their jobs and got laid off, got fired for no reason, got harassed, taunted and harassed on the job, was denied unemployment benefits, denied regular benefits, and you're talking about $200 million? Then, to add insult to injury, she goes on to say that if Jay-Z recoups and gives her the money, she will pay for college tuition. But you have been in the business for how many decades at this point? How long do you rap about and brag about and boast about you're the #1 female artist? You sold how many on the billboards? So you could have been paid people's tuition. You could have been done this. So I'm not falling for this. And hopefully a lot of people out here that if they are Nicki Minaj Barbs and Kens, because what I am not is a play toy. Okay? You're not going to play with me. Play with them. You won't play with me. She said, is it just about who can benefit him and Deseret at the time? Oh, black people, it looks like the Jigga Man and Deseret played y'all once again. Laugh my F and A off. The jig is up. Who the F is she referring to when she said, oh, black people? First of all, with her Trinidadian, okay, she's Trinidadian, or she's Trinidad, from Trinidad. She is very light complected. Let's get this part very clear, okay? How the antics work here in the United Snakes of America, okay, with the Ku Klux Klan. Because of her light complectedness, she gets away with a lot of nonsense. Had she been a dark complected individual, she would not be able to get away with a lot of antics that she pulls on the internet. To add insult to injury, you're referring to black people thinking that Jigga Man is a spokesperson for us when clearly he is not. He is bought, he is sold out, he is paid for. Anytime you can have somebody that looks like him claiming to be his son and he will deny that person, even had that dude getting shot at, okay, because I saw the videos, I saw the interviews. Years ago, I wanted to talk about this, but I did not bring it to the channel because I felt like Jay-Z is not that important enough to even be talking about, to be speaking on. Maybe in some people's small little world and small little mind, that is their God and Savior. And in this rap world, there are grown men that are idolizing Jay-Z, even though he's a 50-year-old man. You're in your 40s, 30s, and 20s. I'm Jay-Z because you didn't have a father figure. Where's your grandfather? Where's your great grandfather? Where's your father, your uncles, your older cousins, your older brothers? You need to have a real mentor out here, and Jay-Z is not it. Okay, he tries to be just like the GAY painter. I think he was from overseas somewhere. He wants to be like Basquiat. Didn't 50 Cent already tell y'all that? But yet and still, this man that looks like the camel on the cigarette pack, okay, that looks just like that dude, the satellite dude that is, in fact, looking like his son, he denies him, right? But it's okay to claim Sir and Rummy and Blue Ivy and all of this nonsense. And then he does have a daughter. And I think from what I understand, he does take care of the daughter. He sends her money. She's grown. But the son, he has nothing to do with. The son got shot at. Even though the son's mother has already passed away, all he wants to know is, hey, if you are my father, take the DNA test so I can know if you're my father or not. Jay-Z won't even stand up to do that. Ever since he mushed that woman in the face, I didn't really have respect for him anyway because I don't know the man, but I lost respect for Jay-Z. Anytime you can be on camera and mush a woman in her face, I mean hard, mushed her hard in front of a whole crowd of dudes, and these idiots, because we know that men aren't men anymore. Males, okay, because that's what they are. They're not men. Sat around, they stood around and watched, did nothing to defend this woman's honor. And I think what it was, she was just a fan. I don't know if she wanted to take a picture. She was trying to get his attention. That's no way to treat someone. If you're going to do that in front of a crowd full of people, it's no telling what you'll do to people behind the scenes. So the same way he has blocked and stopped people's careers and their career paths and their opportunities. Look at what happened to the rapper Emil. Y'all remember Emil? Very conscious, by the way, if you ever listened to her CD from back in the day. And she was talking about Seizure Bozier. She was talking about, the fake Jesus that people like to hang up on their dining room wall. And it's supposed to be the 12 disciples. She was talking about the chip that people wanted to have implanted back in the freaking early 2000s, y'all. I think Emil's CD came out in 2000, and she was very woke, very self-conscious. What did Jay-Z do? He blocked her career. You didn't hear about Emil anymore. They showed a picture or a video of her working at Kmart. And people want to talk about that. Just like the guy from the Huxtables was working at, I think, a grocery store as a cashier. People wanted to talk about that, but y'all don't understand the antics of the industry, how these people have to sell out and turn their backs on people. Even more than that, they turn their back on the creator, what they classify as God. So the God that they serve and the God that you think you serve, there are two different types of entities from what they are talking about. They are satanic. They practice satanic worship, whether you want to believe it or not. Okay, because all the symbolism is out there. I used to wonder when I was, younger, I was like a teenager, and I used to watch these videos. Y'all remember, I can't think of the channel that it used to come on, but it was like a lot of weird stuff in the videos. And I did not understand the symbolism back then. I'm just blindly watching it, because I like the music, I like the song, not knowing that subconsciously they're trying to program you to make this satanic, demonic symbolism seem normalized in your subconscious mind. And not just that, this is a form of witchcraft, and it's a form of, they are warlocks and witches, y'all. This is a form of witchcraft, whether you know it or not, because your mind subconsciously will have a song in your head that you've watched, the video, you've heard it on the radio. I don't listen to the radio anymore like that, y'all. I listen when I get in the car. I'm listening to soft, jazz, smooth instrumentals, something that's going to vibrate my frequency on a higher note, because we don't need to be pre-programmed by these demonic devils. We don't need this. We don't need it. Shouts out to you, King Hazy. We don't need to be pre-programmed by demons. And so I just think that, with Nicki Minaj coming out with these antics right now, it is very the word that I'm looking for. It's almost insulting to the intelligence of the people when she says, "Oh, black people, you've been hoodwinked by Jay-Z once again." Who the F is Jay-Z? Because if Jay-Z had real power, Jay-Z would be able to run this freaking government. Jay-Z has no power. He can't send missiles over to Ukraine, over to Israel. He can't make any real decisions when it comes to that freaking White House. All he can do is have musical influence, and I guess he gets to pick and choose who performs at the freaking Super Bowl. That's the power that massa gave Jay-Z. It's only for entertainment purposes, and there are idiots out here that are still worshiping these demonic idols because I guess they're so low vibrational they can't think for themselves, that they think Jay-Z is some type of magical, mystical, I don't know what, camel, okay? Because he's nothing special. And here's the thing, you got to understand, he has a lot of people around him who has taught and groomed him to be a businessman. If you look back at his old album cover, if you look back when he was like in elementary school and stuff, he had a very dumb look on his face. He had one of them stupid looks on his album cover. I know those looks, the looks of them little stupid looking boys that look like they didn't have much sense back in the day. He has enough sense to basically be selfish and look out for himself. And he will do it by any means necessary. So don't get it twisted, y'all. Y'all remember Jazzo, Jazzo. Now, what a coincidence, okay, that Jazzo used to know Jay-Z back in the day. Now listen to the similarities in the names. Jazzo, Jazzo, Jay-Z, Jayz. Y'all don't see a similarity? Both from New York. And I want you to go back and listen to Jazzo and how he used to flow back in the day, how he used to rap. Jay-Z stole Jazzo's whole swag when it comes to rapping. Yes, yes. The only difference is Jay-Z took off and Jazzo was on record. You can't find this video because they've basically what you call they've cleansed the internet. They clean the internet. What's the word when they strip the internet from this video? But I have it on one of my live streams. I don't know which one right now, but basically Jazzo came on and said Jay-Z is down with this stuff right here. He down with this stuff right here. So basically that's how Jay-Z claimed himself to fame. Okay, now later on, I don't know if it was years later, but it was later on down the line, they interviewed Jazzo again. He recanted his statements. He retracted everything he said about Jay-Z. No, it wasn't even like that. It won't even like, that's not what I meant. Okay, we've seen this before. Remember Carrie Hilson? You're turning me on. You're turning me on. She need to sit down. She faking. She need to go have some babies. That line was about Beyonce, remember? Then when they got her on camera, she came back and retracted. Nah, it wasn't about her. It wasn't even like that. Okay, so what's really going on? Because Beyonce is just like Jay-Z. She has the power to shut people's careers down. Y'all remember Blue Cantrell back in the day? Oops, when your man wanna get buck wild. So Blue Cantrell, her whole entire career got shut down because it was alleged that Jay-Z was interested in Blue Cantrell. And it is alleged that that's why they named their daughter Blue Ivy, to mock Blue Cantrell, because I believe Beyonce is petty enough to do some nonsense like that, okay? And on top of it, it was alleged that Beyonce practices witchcraft. And I remember someone trying to poke fun when the woman came out and said she was a background either drummer or dancer for Beyonce, and Beyonce put some type of black magic on this girl. And she said she just could not get away from it. She put black magic on this woman's cat. And y'all think that Beyonce doesn't practice this stuff when clearly she does. Why else would she go and purchase a church? She wants people to worship her. Y'all not getting it through your skulls. You don't get it through your head. And then they talking about, oh, the beehive. Don't you know some of those people are probably paid? They probably have people paid every day, all day to swarm the internet to get rid of whatever they don't want put out into social media to protect the image of Beyonce. Okay? And that's just simply what it is. Um, they treat her like she's Jesus, like she's Jesus for those that believe in Jesus. And she is not. She is a person like everyone else, placed on a position of power and a position of, a platform to make people want to worship her. Do you know they chant over people's music before they actually push it out to the public? They chant over the music because they want people to basically worship these celebrities. They try to do a chant hoping that people would actually succumb to the lyrics that's in the music, and they want to make sure that the music actually gets to you on a subconscious level. So y'all, this industry is very satanic, and I remember hearing back in the day when I was much younger how people used to say this, but I was not in full belief of it. I remember hearing about it on a radio station many years ago, and the guy seemed so convicted in his spirit when he was talking about it. This was before social media was very prevalent. But now that we know what we know, then we know that these people believe in, Satan and devils, and they conjure up demons. And y'all don't believe it, but there was a guy saying that he went to one of these secret parties and there were certain people in attendance. They went to this very dark room. They were doing these chants. They were doing all this demonic seances. He said that there was an energy and it got very, very hot. This energy was conjured up. It scanned the room. It scanned the room. It scanned the room, and it stopped and it looked at him. And he got very scared. He was nervous. And I think that whatever this thing that they conjured up, it didn't do anything to him. I think it went and looked somewhere else and went back somewhere else. I can't really remember the details of it. But y'all, you think this is a game? It is not a game. It is not. When these people say, God, they're not talking about the God that you think about. Okay? Go back and listen to some of these lyrics. Go back and listen to some of these songs. Jay-Z even has on his shirt, do as thou wilt. That is Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was a Satanist. If you don't believe that, then something is wrong with you. There's no more blatant way to put it. So being that Nicki Minaj is signed to Roc Nation, being that Megan Thee Stallion is signed to Roc Nation, and a whole bunch of other people are signed to this demonic force, what do you think that means for the people that follow behind these people? They say, be careful about worshiping Satan. Be careful who you worship. You should not idol worship man. And I'm not a big Bible, preaching thumper person. I'm not into all of that Christianity, but I do have common sense. I do have the gift of discernment. And if you have the gift of discernment, then maybe you want to use it. People need to stop blindly following behind these people that y'all call celebrities, because they're not celebrities. Be careful when you say celebrity. Celebrate an entity. Celebrity. Celebrating an entity. You're celebrating something you don't even know what you're celebrating. Celebrate yourself. That's one of my hashtags. I always push that message on my videos. Hashtag celebrate yourself. Why should you celebrate anything outside of you? Beyonce is no more powerful, no more special than you. She's just been given a platform. She's been given opportunity. She's been forced into the algorithm. Do you understand that they make it seem like these people have so many views on like their videos and stuff? Some of those are not even real views. They pay for these views. I'm not saying Beyonce has to pay for views, but when these artists first come out, yes, they do. They pay to make them look bigger than what they are. You ever notice when Glorilla came out, she seems like she came out of nowhere, came out, nothing. Like, who raps like that? That's not very feminine at all. And you have a whole bunch of these low vibrational frequencies, low energy females following right behind her, being lost. Glorilla is nobody to idolize yourself after. I'm not saying she doesn't make some catchy music, but if you give me a beat, you give the average person a beat that can halfway rhyme and know how to have the command of the English language, which I can write poetry anyway. I've been writing since I was in second grade, since I was 7 years old. It's nothing to make something rhyme with a nice melodic flow. If you are given the tools and the opportunity, anybody can have a glow up. People need to grow up and get over it. Like after Glorilla, who's gonna be next? You got Megan Thee Stallion, you got Ice Spice, you got Cardi B, you got Megan Thee Stallion, you got Nicki Minaj. Who and what are they all doing? They're rapping about the same thing. Tell me one thing they rapped about that was empowering for melanated females out here, besides how they can twerk, besides how they can get money out of a guy, besides them talking about how everybody else is broke and how they got all this stuff, all these trinkets, they got this, they got that, and they want to glorify and throw it in your face, what you don't have, what they do have. Like, what is it that they're doing to empower you? I'll wait. You let me know if you want your daughter growing up to be like Megan Thee Stallion. You let me know if you want your daughter to grow up acting like Nicki Minaj on social media. You let me know if you want your daughter getting up on stage sounding like Gorilla, huh? Like, who wants to do that? Half the children in elementary school can't even read, can't comprehend, can't write, can't even count money, can't tell time unless it's a digital clock, but they know the words to all these rap lyrics. Tell me, how does that make sense? But you got Nicki Minaj talking about, oh yeah, black people, it looks like the Jigga Man and Desiree played y'all once again. No, if she really was concerned about black people, and this is another thing that gets on my nerves, because these racially ambiguous females, light complected females, manila looking females, nothing wrong if you're mixed or whatever, because we're all mixed up. But let's be honest, she's accepted because of how she looks. Now, if she looked darker complected and she was pulling these stunts, she would not be embraced by social media. She would not be embraced by the public the way she is. The industry wouldn't push her the way that they do. Let's be very clear on that. Okay? They would I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but they would stigmatize her. They would ostracize her. Okay? That's why you had Michael Jackson back in the day bleaching his skin. And a lot of these, quote unquote celebrities, they think that people are dumb. They think people are stupid. It's fine and dandy. It's advantageous to talk about politics when you're trying to pander to the people. When the people out here are going through real issues, where's your voice to speak up for any of this stuff that's going on out here? When Michigan and Flint didn't have clean water, I don't even know if they still have clean water for people. Where were they when this was going on? When the George Floyd situation was going on, knee on neck, where were they to talk about that situation? When the police are out here shooting and killing people, innocent people, where are they to speak on these topics? When people are getting laid off from their jobs, where are they to, start a business in the community so that these people can have some type of job economics, job opportunities? Where are they to invest into people that want to start businesses? They're nowhere to be found. But because Jay-Z owes her, I guess, $200 million, according to her, we're supposed to care. Who gives a F? What about all the money the government owes us as a melanated people? What about the 40 acres and a mule that they promised us? What about the reparations they said, well, we know we're never going to get it? What about all this money they're giving away to the fake illegal citizens that's coming over here, these illegal immigrants? We got more important things to think about in this nation, in this world, in our own lives, in our own communities, than to be worried about a millionaire that owes another millionaire some money. I could care less. Go get a lawyer, okay? Go get a high-paying attorney that you can afford, because there are a lot of people out here that have been falsely accused and imprisoned. Let's talk about the melanated men that get locked up for crimes they didn't even commit. 20, 30 years they can't get back. And they don't have the money to fight, the money to purchase or buy an attorney to help represent them in court. Let's talk about that. But when her brother, quote unquote, assaulted an 11-year-old, She was in court. She paid for the attorney, and I'm pretty sure she puts money on his books. Okay, I'm pretty sure he's well taken care of there in jail, in the penitentiary, or wherever he's at. I'm pretty sure he's well taken care of. There are families out here that can't afford to do that for themselves. There are people who have been backed into committing crime, and I'm not justifying it because maybe they had to go out here and do some things to support their family. But what does Nicki Minaj tell you? If you ain't got no money, you ain't S, right? You a bum, you broke, you this, you that. I got all this money. I'm driving this, I'm driving that, I'm taking flights. So where's all that energy now? You want to cater and pander to black people. Don't fall for it. These people are sick in their heads, sick in their minds. They're disgusting and they're very self benefiting. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, all of them, they're no different. And all of them want to talk about each other when they get mad. Okay. You knew what this Jay-Z was like before you went over there with Rock Nation. You knew how he was. You knew that he did other artists wrong back in the day. Look at how he shut down Foxy Brown's career. And she could flow. She had a good little flow to her. We don't even hear about Foxy Brown anymore. Like I said, Emil, Memphis Bleak, Beanie Siegel, the list goes on. DMX. There was some more. I've heard so many stories about what Jay-Z did to people, shutting down their CDs, didn't want them doing that, holding back careers. He said he was going to retire from rap, then he came back. Like, stop it. Same thing with Beyonce. We heard how she shut down Maya's career. What's the other girl? Tierra Marie's career, Emil's career, Blue Cantrell's career. I think, was it A. Marie? She stole her whole sound. This one thing that's got me tripping. This one thing. That whole song. No, 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 no. Oh, oh. So then the same producer produced the beat for Beyonce. And she came out with Crazy in Love. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. But if you listen to that go-go beat, that's because A. Marie, she used to go to Howard University. That's that DC flow. That's that DMV flow. Maryland, DC. That's that go-go. Beyonce is not from that. She's from freaking Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas, baby. That's what she said, remember? But all of a sudden, you got a go-go theme. You got a go-go beat in your background. So she steals from other artists, and she steals from people that are not in the United States. Like she stole some stuff from Africa. There's a beat, that song that she got, We Be All Night in Love. That song right there, that beat was taken from somebody in Africa. Okay? That go back and listen to it. It's all these things they don't want you knowing about. She steals her flow. She steals that Tina Turner, okay? That whole thing she's wearing, like with her legs out and stuff like that, wearing leotards. Tina Turner all day. So how many people are you going to copy off of until you be your own person? So it's just like they're not original. They steal from people, and because people don't have the money and the resources to point the realistic stuff out that's going on about these people, they get pushed into the corner, placed on the back burner like they're nobodies. And these people get hyped up and placed on a pedestal like they are somebody. They are not any more than what the public perceives them to be. And your perception is everything. So people perceive them to be more glorious than what they are. They're not royalty to me. Because anytime you got to steal and you got to hold back other people's career, you got to be selfish, you want to be worshiped, you're doing all this other stuff, demonic seances behind the scenes to sabotage other people. That's very evil and demonic. Like, how do they live with themselves and look at themselves in the mirror? It's disgusting. Listen to their lyrics. They're not innocent. They're not innocent at all, y'all. So, those are just my opinions on the whole thing. And I feel like Tina Knowles, she needs to just stay out of it, sit herself down somewhere, because she's not all innocent either. Trust me, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree when it comes to Beyonce and Tina Knowles. Throwing rocks and hiding hands. Throwing rocks and hiding hands. They like to do that a whole lot of times. And Instead of being straightforward and just coming out and saying what you have to say, they like to play these little shenanigans, behind the keyboard, behind Twitter, and posting this and posting that. And, oh, I didn't mean that. It wasn't me. Oh, no. Yes, that's exactly what you meant. You know what you mean. So y'all, it's just so irritating. That's why a lot of times I don't want to talk about celebrities, but I do come on and talk about it because I know people are interested in the topic matter. But it's a lot more important stuff going on. There are more of us than there are of celebrities, but more people are focused on them because that's what they push to the forefront. That's what I remember when news used to be about real life events. Then, y'all, we're having a torrential downpour. I just started hearing the rain. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm on point. That's confirmation from the universe. Let it rain, let it pour. Okay? You're not gonna stop this truth from coming out. But I remember when the news used to be about the news, about current events in your local area. Now, news is about celebrities. I remember when Madonna dyed her hair and it made news. This was years ago. I couldn't believe it. They had basically breaking news: Madonna dyes her hair. I said, this is the stupidest and dumbest thing ever. Ever since then, they were slowly feeding the public celebrity gossip, celebrity gossip. So then we can start being manipulated, mind controlled, and distracted by other people's lives that don't even care about us. If your parents, or somebody you care about has to go to the hospital right now, is Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Nicki Minaj coming to give you $200 million? So Nicki Minaj needs to stop it. She needs to stop. Because if you're not doing anything for the people out here, stop talking about black people. You've been hoodwinked. We've been hoodwinked since the very beginning, since the colonizer came over here. So where have you been for history, Nicki Minaj and the rest of them? Where have they been since history's been going on? We've been hoodwinked. We know when these presidents set foot into office, they're not going to do anything for us. What did Obama do? He didn't do anything. What was Kamala Harris going to do? Not a goddamn thing for us. What did she do? Oh, she pandered. She pandered to us. One minute, I'm African American. The next minute, I'm Indian. The next minute, I'm something else. She is not what you call a real melanated female. That woman is from India. I looked and did the research on her mother and her alleged father. You want to talk about Barack Obama with a mother from Kansas and a daddy from allegedly Kenya? That man's father is not from no goddamn Kenya. Okay? They're lying. And if you think the CIA and the Secret Service does not orchestrate a family to feed to America, you need to go back and watch that show with Carrie, what's her name? Carrie somebody. I can't think of the name of it, but they make families up, okay? So Barack Obama, Michael, not Michelle, Michael Obama was a made-up family. Sasha and Malia are not their children. You don't believe me? Go do the research. I found this out back in 2017, y'all. I saw their real parents. Their real parents live in Chicago and was always taking trips with them. Every time they went out of town, those parents were there. And the parents, one of them is like a doctor, but I bet they got paid off very handsomely to use those very attractive and pretty daughters so they could place them as their children. Because we know that Barack Obama is GAY. Don't believe me? Go back and listen to that interview in 2016 where that white man got killed, okay, from releasing the truth. He had telephone records talking about how Barack Obama was snorting. Was he snorting or smoking? CRACK. One or the other, okay? And he said he performed fellatio on Barack Obama. And that was when he wasn't even in office. He hadn't even started becoming, I think he was thinking about joining the presidential campaign or something like that. But this was back in 2016. Go back and do your research. So yeah, we've been hoodwinked, Nicki Minaj. What are you talking about? And for anybody that thinks that Jay-Z and Beyonce cares anything about the presidential campaign race, they get checks for that. They get paid to do that. You saw how Beyonce got up there and said those few little words and walked off stage. All those people showed up to that campaign rally because they thought Beyonce was going to perform, and she didn't. They looked dumb. So y'all paid her to get up there and say them stupid little words that they wrote for her, and she walked off stage, smiled and grinned in your face, and you look like the idiots. And then I don't know what Kelly Rowland was doing up there because she act like she doesn't have her own self-identity. She got to follow up behind Beyonce. Oh, Beyonce's my sister. Beyonce. Like, get your own identification. It's sad, y'all. It's sad what grown people have come to just to get a few trinkets from the devil. Because you do know the devil gives rewards, right? You do know, if you remember, the devil gives rewards. The devil will give you something that looks like a paradise, a palace, gold, diamonds, pearls. The devil will pull out his bag of tricks and give you everything you ever asked for, only to yank it from you when you least expect it and make you pay up in ways that you never expected. Trust and believe, these idiots out here fall for it every single day. It's another one that's signing, another one joining Rock Nation, another one joining. They don't care because y'all stand in line looking like dummies. And the people that they like to cater to, they're not going to they're not going after the highly intelligent people that have been, like going to college, got degrees, masters, PhDs. No, because those people are not going into the industry like that. You know who they go for? The dummies. The people who they have a low education, the people that will do anything for money, the people that are desperate for fame, desperate for power and glory, and self-centered and selfish. That's who they go after. They're not going to target anybody that's highly intelligent because they can't trick them. So y'all are really, really worshiping a bunch of idiots. That's what's going on out here. And it needs to stop. We need to talk in the melanated community. We need to stop with all the celebrity gossip nonsense. When do we talk about real things that impact us and our lives? When do we put ourselves first for once? When do we love ourselves enough to say enough is enough of worshiping satanic, demonic people that don't care about you? People can't get it through their thick skulls. Oh, you're just hating. Oh, you just wish you were Beyonce. Oh, you just wish you were rich and famous. Oh, you just wish this. No. If you got to get it like that, you can keep it. Okay? There are some things that cannot be bought from certain people, by certain people. Integrity, loyalty, faith. You can't buy these things. Those people will throw you underneath a bus at the drop of a dime for some money. Yes, they will. And don't say they won't, because they've already done it to themselves. If they will sell themselves out, what do you think they'll do to you? They don't even know you. People out here sacrificing relatives and family members. What do you think they'll do to a so-called fan that they don't even know? You think they care about you? They never met you, don't even know your name. But you in the comment section, oh, I'm with the Beehive. Oh, I'm a Barb. Oh, I'm a Ken. Shut up. You sound dumb. You're a play toy. You might as well be in a cartoon. Go audition to be a cartoon character. You can't run for politics. You can't be a politician. You don't want to be a doctor, an attorney, somebody that really matters in this world. You want to be a Ken and a Barbie and a Barb in the Navy pool out there with Rihanna and them. Looking and sounding dumb, sounding ignorant. First of all, and some of these comments that I see in the comment section, people cannot even spell. So if you cannot spell, I know you cannot read. And if you cannot read, I know you can't comprehend. So your education level is very little. You don't do any studying outside of school. Matter of fact, when you were in school, you weren't paying attention. What were you doing? Listening to Beyonce, listening to Jay-Z, listening to Rihanna, listening to all these people that don't give a F about you. And that's why you can't read, write, and spell and comprehend right now. This is why you cannot elevate in life, because you're too busy worshiping a bunch of people that they practice demonic satanic worship, and you following them right along with them, looking like a big dummy. What are you getting out of it? And let's get on to the people that want to spend $1,000 to go see Chris Brown and to go see Beyonce but can't pay their rent. Let's talk about it. The dumbest thing ever. People can't pay their rent. This happened, what was it, last year? I know, because they shut the city down at 3 p.m. People got off work early. They cleared the whole city because Beyonce came to the stadium. Don't you know I was talking to this Indian guy and I said, yeah, they're shutting the city down early because Beyonce's coming. You know, she's here in town. He said, Beyonce, who is that? That lets you know how far removed melanated people are from reality. This man didn't even know who she was. Now, I bet you he would have known. I bet you he would have known who Michael Jackson was. Oh, I didn't know. I have to call back. Y'all, the lawn care guy called me. He lives in a neighborhood. I really need his services. But yeah, that lets you know right there how far removed people are from reality. So they know about Beyonce, but they don't know about anything else that matters in their lives. You don't know how to come up with the rest of the money for your rent, but you know how to come up with money to go see Beyonce. Tell me how that makes sense. I will wait while Nicki Minaj complains, telling us like we can do something about it to help her. We are trying to help ourselves, okay, regular people, because you know the way they look at us. You're down here and I'm up here because I'm Nicki Minaj. I'm Nicki Minaj. I got a pink garage. All this dumb stuff. Bippity boppity boo, Kalamazoo. All of this dumb stuff, making up words. So, with all of that being said, she is mad about $200 million. And half of y'all haven't even seen $1 million. What are we supposed to do to help her when these people don't even help us? These people are millionaires, multi-billionaires, and couldn't collectively come together to help their cities. She's from Queens. I don't know what she's done in Queens to help the people in Queens. I know when they get money, they move to Hollywood, they move to LA. I do know that. What has Beyonce done for the city of Houston? What has Jay-Z done for Marcy, son? Marcy Projects. What have they done? and let's not even start on Jada Kiss, because I want to talk about it again. Jada Kiss, moi, kiss the game. Okay? A character. How many years do we have to see people living as a character? This is not Halloween, okay? People are saying that Jadakiss grew up with his father. His father has developed him, his father, and it's 3 generations. They've actually founded, I think it's a coffee shop together. That's commendable. How many American citizens wish they could say, I have a business with my parents and my grandparents? That's 3 generations right there. And it's going to go on so we can pass it down to our children so we won't have to ever be broke again. But that's not publicized. What is publicized is the fact that you were hanging on the block on the street and doing all this gangster thuggish stuff, right? It's not supposed to be commendable that you grew up with your father. You get targeted and picked on and harassed because you had something that most people should have. Like every other nationality makes it normalized to have a 2-parent household, but somehow when it gets into the melanated community, oh, you not hood enough. Y'all, hold on. This is my youngest nephew. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Hello? Hello? Okay. Well, I hear a bunch of talking in the background, so I don't know if they accidentally called me. But that's my youngest nephew, y'all. So anyway, every other nationality. Hey, see, I am on live. Hold on. Hello? All right. I don't know. I'll put this thing on silent, y'all. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, everybody else can have a 2-parent family household, but melanated people gotta prove that they're gangsters for some reason. The gangster of what? You don't own the block. You don't own the state. You don't own the county. You don't own the municipality. You don't even own a home. You don't own land. You don't own a business. What do you own? You don't control the finances in this country. You are not the president. You are not a politician. You're not on the Senate. You're none of these things. So what are you doing to really make moves? Oh, that's right. You have rap lyrics. That's right. You sell drugs. That's right. You destroy your own community. That's right. You're so gangster because you know how to shoot your own people that look like you. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. I'm not impressed. And we should be tired of it by now. For decades, we've been listening to this filth and this garbage pollute and contaminate the youth's mind. I used to listen to it back in the day, But you know what? At least I got more sense to know better. There are people out here really trying to live that life, and they're supposed to be grown males. They're not men, they're males. It's okay when we do it to each other. It's okay when it's us versus us, but let it be us versus them. Then it's a problem. Everything is all good, fine, and hunky dory, all to the glory because we're entertainment for these people. Y'all, what did Puffy say? What did Diddy say? Y'all cooning and buffooning. Y'all remember that video? You're cooning and buffooning. You are tap dancing for your master, and you love to do it. This is why I can't stand being around a bunch of idiotic, melanated. I ain't even calling them melanated. A bunch of ignorant ninjas. I cannot stand it because they love being ignorant. They love it. They love it. They love being ignorant. They don't want to learn. They don't want to excel in life. They want to be stupid. And they love being just acting like retarded idiots. I mean, it's just they don't want to think with their brains. Half of them don't have a brain because they're, what are they? Stragglers. You see them out there wandering around looking like they're going nowhere fast, out there hanging out at the gas station. Why is it 10, 20 melanated guys at the freaking gas station in the middle of the day with nothing to do? Then when you go to try to pump your gas, hey, yo, ma, you smoke? No. Do I look like I freaking smoke? Get out of my face. But let me tell you something. I pop open my trunk. Look, I got a clothing brand. You want to buy one of these Melanated King shirts? Oh man, I get paid Friday. This is just dumb, right? You don't even have $25. You can't buy a shirt. Get out of my freaking face. Idiots, just dumb, just irritating, just stay away from hood culture. That's all I can tell y'all. Stay away from hood culture. I'm so tired of riding down the road and all I smell is weed coming down the highway. You already know what side of town we're on when we're smelling weed everywhere. All up in Walmart, smelling like weed. You can't do anything else but get high and go to the vape store. Then complain about how you don't have money. Idiots can't even purchase a house. You know how many people I talk to? Credit messed up, credit bad, don't have money saved up, high debt to income ratio. Why? Priorities are messed up. Don't even know about getting life insurance. Want to start a GoFundMe account because you think that's life insurance. Dumb, stupid. Wearing Jordans, no car. You rather walk in Jordans, can't drive a car, don't have a license. The priorities are backwards. I don't have the patience for it, y'all. It's just stupid. These are the lectures that y'all should be having in school. These are the lectures that the parents need to be giving these children. But oh, that's right. Parents, that's what you want to call yourselves, don't parent anymore. That's why we have all these children that can't read and write in 3rd grade, in 4th grade, in 5th grade, in 6th grade, graduating and won't even mean anything when they get a high school diploma. Don't you know our education system is one of the lowest compared to some of the other countries? But I bet you know all about Jay-Z and going to a Beyonce concert. I bet you don't take money and put it into your child's education, but you can make sure they got the latest Jordans. I bet you it's some idiots out here spending $2,000 on shoes for a prom, right? But you don't have down payment for a house. You don't have money for this, money where it's important. You can't invest into stocks. Oh, I don't have money for this. I don't have money. But you got money for some Don Julio, dummies. Just sounding stupid. You know how expensive it is to go to the liquor store, the ABC store, and you know where they put them? In the hood. What do y'all like to brag about? In the hood. I'm from the hood. It's all good in the hood. Y'all gonna stay right where you at. Because when you come into these other communities, those people don't want to see you coming around. They're going to take off running. That's why they move further and further and further away. Every time you start moving into their neighborhoods, they take off and leave. They sell their houses. Because you know what you don't like to do? You don't like to take care of your yard. You let your house fall apart. You don't take care of your cars. You don't know how to live in a neighborhood. You act uncivilized. You can't get along. You can't live together. Hispanic people, it's 5, 6, 7 of them living in the house. They pull their money together. They save their money. You get a bunch of black people in the house, and guess what's gonna happen? The police gonna get called. Y'all getting into fights. Somebody don't want to pay their half. You're getting put out. You can't get along. It's ridiculous. It is freaking ridiculous. And this is why, as a people, as a collective, we don't get anywhere. So I'm telling melanated people, it's a difference between you and ignorant hood ninjas. Just say no to ninjas. Matter of fact, I'm going to print some t-shirts. Just say no to BANs, bitch ass ninjas. And just like that, because that's what the F they are. And we need to stop tolerating it. For the females out here, you really need to hold yourself at a higher standard, because there's no reason why you should be rocking around with some of these dusties, some of these stragglers that you are taking in your house, letting them live with you for free, not paying bills, don't have a job, can't keep a job. They can smoke, they can drink and get high, but they can't help you with your bills. They can't help you elevate in life. Why are they there? And let me tell you something. I don't care how good a dude looks. That does not pay the bills unless he's a model, unless he's getting money off of his looks in some type of way. If anything, he should be looking at you, holding you in high regard. Why are you taking care of him? It's all backwards. And females have started becoming the men in relationships. Melanated females, oh, you want to be independent. Now you're independent. Now you're out here being independent, being a man. Congratulations. That's what they said in the music. That's what they want y'all to do in these rap lyrics. Are they telling Caucasian women to go be independent? Are they telling the Hispanic woman to go be independent? Are they telling the Middle Eastern woman to go be independent? Are they telling the Asian ladies to go and be independent? I don't think so. But y'all want to be independent. I don't need a man. I don't need a female. Oh, F these hoes, F these bees, F these ninjas. That's what's going on. Back and forth, back and forth. It's so stupid. All these podcasts, you got males sitting with a microphone and a camera, and half of them shouldn't even be on the freaking internet. Inarticulate as hell. Can barely speak, can barely talk. Just ridiculous. And what are they doing to help the situation? Nothing. But you know what? I'm going to start going back to book reviews like I was. When I was pulling up these books and we were learning about Behold a Pale Horse, we were learning about just different people. Dr. Delbert Blair, look him up. Ashra Kwesi, look him up. Dr. Phil Valentine, look him up. We're going to go back to some things that actually matter. And stop with all of this stupid stuff that means nothing to elevate you in your particular life where you stand right now. Because what Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj got going on, how is that really going to help you? If she get that $200 million, is she going to find your address and say, hey, I see that your family has been going through it this month. Here's a check. I bet not. But when she comes to your city and your town, who's going to break their neck to buy a ticket? The ignorance of it all. This is why other nationalities, they come over here, they take education seriously and they get ahead. And American melanated people are the ones that struggle the most because we can't stick together. We can't come to one common accord about anything that matters. People are so distracted by stupid antics that they can't even focus on their regular, ordinary, everyday lives so that they can get ahead. Y'all are too distracted by stupid stuff. You know, it's just like a baby. You know how you take a baby to a toy store? Y'all remember Toys R Us? Oh, look at the toys. Look at all the toys. You get all excited, but you can't buy the whole entire store. You got to leave. You can't buy the toy. You just can look around and watch it, just like you look at these celebrities and watch their lives, but that's not the life you're living. So why are you so mesmerized by these trinkets of demonic evil? It makes no sense. Anyway, y'all, I've been on here for an hour and 9 minutes. Thank you for the people that have tuned in. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you enjoy the message and the content. I do want to talk about the book called The Miseducation of the Negro and some more stuff that I would like to talk about. because Willie Lynch is still in effect. If you haven't read that, check it out. If you read, some people don't like to read, but we're gonna be reviewing and exploring things that have substance. This is the channel of substance, y'all. So if you want a channel of substance and not a channel full of nonsense, then this is the place for you. If you want a whole bunch of celebrity gossip and a whole bunch of nonsense and idiotic stuff, go over to somewhere else because I don't have time for it. Also, if you are thinking about a YouTube channel, or if you have a YouTube channel, just know that ignorance is what's going to be pushed into the algorithm. Nonsense is going to be pushed into the algorithm. Anything that doesn't really matter. If you are bickering, arguing with someone, if you have a bunch of YouTube beef, YouTube drama, that's what they're going to push. If you have anything of importance to talk about, anything intelligent, that's going to help melanated people, they're not going to push you. You will be shadow banned if you talk about the truth. That's just how it is. Your channel will not grow. So with that being said, I also have a channel on Rumble. Check me out. It's Living Legend TV, and I will be going live there as well. You can follow me on this platform, but you can follow me over there as well. And I'm going to try to stream simultaneously to Rumble and YouTube, because I can clearly see that YouTube has a whole lot of, what do I want to say, low vibrational miscreants, okay? Empty entities that are looking to grasp onto someone else's energy because they're very unhappy in life. All right. So just like that, this has been an episode of yours truly, Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Hope you enjoy the stream. All right. Hopefully people didn't get too offended, but if you did, maybe you feel convicted. I'm not apologizing, y'all, because it is what it is. Anyway, I've given you a lot of energy. I was supposed to be doing other things, but I will be on here again. I hope to be on here tomorrow for F Your Feelings Friday, y'all. I have a surprise. All right, I'm going to see if I can get a couple of people to come on up on the panel. We're going to play a really interesting game for y'all. We're going to take it back to like the 90s and the early 2000s. We're going to play a music game and see if you can guess the lyrics, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing for tomorrow. And probably around 7 p.m. Usually I like to start at 8, but I'm saying around 7 p.m. for now. So I will post that up here. I'm going to be signing out. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to always continue to walk in your divinity. Stay blessed until next time. I'll talk to y'all later. All right, y'all. Let me find my little thing here, and I'm going to sign on out of here. All right, let me find my outro, y'all. I don't want to get, we'll just play this one for now.